Okay, just a very quick reading while I have energy and time. Again, I will be doing the angel reading as soon as my energy catches up, hopefully this weekend. Now, this is going to be a very quick look at the claims by Cassandra Ventura against Sean Combs of abuse. And we're talking about him encouraging her to participate in things she didn't want to intimately, and also using the encouragement of him for her to use substance, this sort of thing, according to her claims. And this reading is alleged, it's for entertainment purposes only. These are cards, okay? So do your own research. What can I tell you? All right, let's just see what these cards want to share about Cassandra's claims. Grudge, anger, and resentment. There is bitterness here. Goes with that. Damaged, destruction, brokenhearted, crushed. This to me looks like she's feeling a definite, sorry about the glare. It looks like she's definitely feeling like something went on that she's holding a grudge toward him for, that she feels like caused her damage. So some people want to say it's a money grab, and I can't answer to that. But I can say it looks to me like she definitely thinks there was damage. I don't think she feels like it's a baseless claim. It looks like she feels actually very deeply that some injustice was done that caused her damage. And there is resentment, there is anger, there is bitterness about it. And I think wanting to do something about it. Okay. Burnout, drained, fatigue, exhaustion. Okay. And resistance, urge, fighting it, suppression. I think she has some legitimate gripe that she feels. I think she feels like dealing with it has caused her to feel exhausted, drained, toxic, and stuck. When I look at the resistance, it looks like it's a tiring fight for her, but one that she does feel is legitimate. That's what I can offer you. Okay. So I think she feels like there was some stuff that really messed her up in the long term, but I feel like she also feels very tired and kind of stuck or trapped, but also suppressed when it comes to trying to battle him about this. Okay. Interconnected, reflecting each other, shared energies. Well, this would definitely be, to me, their relationship. I think she felt at one time very connected to him and controlled, though, with this card. And seeking to resist it and trying to, I feel like, pardon the wound vac, I feel like she is trying to, or tried to stand up for herself, but I think she felt overwhelmed. I do. And maybe a bit confused. because I feel like there's an energy here, definitely with that interconnected card. It feels like they're really enmeshed. Let's just see the card that goes with that. Intrusion. Influences third-party negative attachments. She may feel that their relationship was soured or affected by the influence of other people close to him. I don't know enough about her or their relationship for that matter. But the feeling that I get from the cards and intuitively from them is that they may have started out feeling really connected, really close, but it feels like there was a wedge that came in with someone else's influence over him and how he treated her and how their relationship went, for better or for worse. There's somebody else here. Maybe it's his yes people, so as they say. There's somebody that she feels like was a bad influence, and that it almost feels like she feels like their relationship could have been better, but there's an influence here from an outside party or parties perhaps that spoiled that or changed it and made it very difficult or toxic. Let's see what the other cards say very quickly. Purging, purifying, energy cleanse, detox. Well, interesting that I was talking about toxicity in a relationship. Now I feel like she's on board to try and clear this negativity out of her life. Maybe even if she does not win, etc., she just feels like at the very least she needs for her own self to come forward and say her truth, what she experienced, make people aware. It's an attempt, I feel like, to get rid of the negativity in her life and the bitterness and the toxicity when we look back at the first card. Again, I'm sorry for the glare. I do have a skylight over me. Okay, we have seduction here. Alluring, captivating, enticing. And I feel like it was a highly sexual relationship, definitely. But there was a lot of toxicity here. I feel like she was, again, with the interconnected card, deeply drawn into him. But again, there's just an outside influence. And if you, the viewer, may know what that is, please do share in the comments. It just seems like she felt like there was a negativity that interrupted what could have been a healthier relationship than what they experienced together. And we're looking at a very intense, I think, intimate relationship, but one that she found at the end of the day too toxic to stay in. I think maybe part of the reason she stayed as long as she did was she was really attracted. She was really connected, felt connected to him, and thought that they were. But I think she realized later there's just was too many negatives that influenced their relationship and made it be something that she wanted to kind of scour out of her life. Overwhelmed. Well, that goes along with burnout card and the other card of where there's this negative energy that's just draining her. So there's instability, again, intense feelings, which went with the detox and the seduction card here. No two ways about it. They had a very intense, I think, relationship. And I think it was confusing in some ways for her in wanting to please him and maybe participate in things that she felt would please him and not so much as an interest of her own. That's the feeling I'm getting. I think this is regret and a need again to perhaps make her own claim of out in the world regarding what went on. Pact. Okay, so this is overwhelmed and pact. That is together. Promises, fidelity, vow. They may have, I don't know enough, but it looks like a marriage was considered. There may have been promises made, but it shows overall an instability. Despite these intense feelings, I feel like it was a highly intimate, again, sexual connection, but one that was unfortunately influenced in her mind by other things and other people that had an influence over him at the time. Yeah. So a definite, strong connection where I think they did seek to be a couple, but I feel like she just found it untenable. It was doing things, that she no longer wanted to do, and more so, and feeling more and more bitter and resentful about what was going on. Karma. There's free will choices, cause and effect, and dwelling, memories, reminiscing, holding on. Maybe for her, in order to release this toxicity, this is what she needs to do in coming forward, whether or not she receives any settlement or not. I think, in all honesty, for what anyone else wants to say, for her, it was a very detrimental and intense relationship that she has felt the need to come forward about for her own peace of mind and an attempt to purge it, because there's a lot of bitterness and disillusion around it. I think she really did want to have something with him, but the partying and all of this and what was going on made it too toxic for her taste. This is a need to let go of it. And I feel like trying to release the memories. Cause and effect choices, free will. And, it was her choice to be with him. So I do think that some of it definitely was her choice to stay with him and try and make it work. But I think it's because she really thought that they had a more legitimate relationship than something that was really more perhaps just sexual. And I think that, much to her dismay, it didn't end up being a real quote unquote relationship to her that she felt safe in. Very intense relationship, and one that probably does go back to another life. There is karma here. It also speaks of being accountable. And this, I think, is an effort to, I think, hold herself and him accountable in some way. Maybe she's worked on her end and feels like, she needs to bring this up really for her own healing, is what I'm getting. Definitely not just something for money. Devotion, dedication, loyalty, and trust. These come up. It feels like she's someone that did this to please him, to try and please him, to show her devotion, to show her loyalty, to have a relationship with him. But I think at the long term, I think it was something like 10 years that they were together, so that makes sense. I think she tried, but it just doesn't look like she felt like there was a reciprocal concern or well-being consideration towards her. Looks like she was feeling like she was making a lot of choices based on her participation in these things to keep him around, to keep his approval, to keep him happy, to keep their relationship. Because again, a very intense bond. Fate, again, divine plan, intervention, divine timing. I think they definitely had karma to work out in this life. This is still part of it. Thanks, crows. But it didn't work out. I think they were trying to have a healthier relationship this time around. Didn't work out. And so that is what the attempt to release all this is. My God, I can't give a reading without somebody making a load of noise. A crow, a dog, a person in the house. Okay. Unrevealing, concealing, unclear agenda, hidden factors, and vulnerability, accessible, open heart. This looks like she kept this closed and private because she felt very vulnerable. That makes sense. He's got a lot of money, a lot of power, and I think she knows that she's not on the same playing field as this guy financially and just the power that he has as a man. I think she feels very hurt looking back at this, and has actually tried to keep this on the down low. But there's a concern for, I think, other people that are vulnerable just like her. And she definitely had a vulnerability. I think on her end, just this relationship, I think she was perhaps a bit more honest and real than he was. And she capitulated. That's the feeling I get with all of this. And I think it might be difficult for her to prove that she was not consensual to these things, because I sensed a great deal of wanting to please and wanting to stay connected and feeling like this was a relationship that she shouldn't just throw away, etc. And maybe that's why she stayed so long. And then I think feeling very vulnerable at the same time. illusion, fantasy, clouded judgment, again, I think she felt like he was not who she thought he was. Definitely that. I think she thought that they had a real relationship. And then looking back, I think as she's gotten older, I mean, she was only apparently 19 when she got together with him. So I think that the disillusionment as she's gotten older is the realization that it wasn't what she thought it was as a younger person when she was involved with him. And that she didn't use the best judgment, perhaps. Didn't have the capacity, perhaps, at her age at that time. Definitely disillusioned. Masculine energy, logical, active, with that card of fantasy. And I think he might have a lot of fantasy-based activities. Let's just put it that way. And what is his dream or fantasy, I don't think was so much shared. I feel like there was some confusion for her. Like, was this something I really wanted? Or was this something I capitulated to in trying to please him? I think she's had to work that out. And I think she's come up with, I really wasn't comfortable with this, with what went on in that relationship, and I'm going to come out with it because other people, you know, could find themselves in this situation that are younger with him. So I think she helped. This is interesting. It follows along with the information that I can find. And I'm going to say, I think that she really did have feelings for him, but I think she felt that he used her when she looks back, and it causes a lot of animosity in her. So wherever this goes, I feel like she really feels, looking back, that he took advantage of her youth, that he took advantage of her desire to be in a relationship with him, desire to please him. So I'll leave it there. Well, maybe one more. Unresolved, loose ends, unfinished business. Maybe that's why she's bringing it also back up. She needs closure, but I don't know if she's going to get it. Let's see, one more card. Stillness, silence, inaction, idle. You know, I don't know that it's going to go anywhere. She may walk away from it. But I feel like this may have been important for her to, at the very least, verbally share about what she experienced for her healing, to purge this negativity, this unresolved business. And I don't know. I think that this will just be inactive. I don't know that this will go anywhere. Space, distance, separation. You know, the time that has passed, the moving on with other relationships, both of them, and being, so there's barriers. It might be difficult for her to pursue it as well. And solitude, we really get a lot of this reflection and being withdrawn. You know, she may just pull back and go very quiet, to be honest. She just might not be able to pursue it and go more into seclusion and try and distance. It could also be him, just trying to remain silent, not bring this up, create a barrier by withdrawing. So I'll leave it there. You guys can tell me what you think. Thanks so much. Please leave a thumbs up if you appreciate the reading. The reading on angels is forthcoming. I have been behind the 8 ball with trying to get a surgery done, and my energy, and good gosh, so many other things that I won't bore you with. But I can assure you it's forthcoming. Thank you for your patience and support. God bless.